Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Awesome Sunday Show. My name's Connor,
I'm Pat.
and we have our permanent guest. We call him a permanent guest because he's going to be reoccurring, pretty much a lot of the time, especially during the Flash.
Yeah, he's like an SNL featured player.
Yeah, you're kind of like the Tom Hanks of SNL.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Why don't you introduce yourself, very special guest?
My name's Mike.
Mike.
Hey, everybody.
So we all know Mike Sands by now. He's he's kind of like.
Been here a few times.
Yeah.
Talking about cool stuff.
So we're continuing with our Flash episode reviews. As of right now, it's 2 weeks into the second season. So we're going to be talking about episode 1 and 2. So, of course, we're going to be talking about episode 1 first and what happened. So, overall, real fast, I know Pat finished off season 1 real fast, the last podcast. Mike, what did you think of season 1 overall?
I fell in love with the series with season 1. I thoroughly enjoy how the show panned out. I like the formula that they use for every episode, how the villain shows up, they have to figure out a way to beat him. I just think, just to compare it to its, I guess, its sister show, Arrow. Like, Arrow is trying to be real dark about everything, but I like the way that Flash is real, like, uppity and colorful about everything. Like, everything's really corny and superhero-y.
Right.
It just has a real good overall feel.
It's got a Golden Age vibe to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that too. So I just want to hear your thoughts on like what you kind of generally thought of season 1. So we're gonna be starting off with episode 1. So we see some strange stuff happen in episode 1. Barry's a little not really himself usually. Is usually Pepper himself. He's actually kind of down in the what's that expression go?
Down in the dumps.
Down in the dumps.
Down in the dumps.
I was about to say down on the ropes, but that's a boxing expression.
Yeah.
That could work.
But they're celebrating Flash Day. They're gonna give him a key to the city in episode 1, and he doesn't really want to go because he doesn't feel like he's the true hero.
Well, you kind of glanced over the fact that season 2 starts off 6 months after the singularity,
Right?
The season finale of season 1, and over that span, Barry's been fighting crime himself. He's pushed everybody away, and has been fighting crime himself.
He's also been rebuilding Central City at night.
Yeah, right.
Trying to not let anybody know he's been doing it. But
Barry the Builder.
yeah.
Yeah. So he helped him rebuild the city. It's 6 months after the singularity event, and so Central City's been at peace for the most part, except Iris
More so than it was.
Right? It's kind of like that whole Dark Knight thing. You said he's not without crime, but as of right now, it's
not without.
As far as
any
we
of its
know,
big
is
players.
without metahuman crime.
without metahuman crime. So, but then, lo and behold, on the Flash Day, when the mayor is presenting the key to the Flash, the key to the city, Mike, who shows up,
Atom Smasher.
damn right, Atom Smasher. So, now this is we all kind of thought this when we were in a group chat talking about this. Atom Smasher's a good guy.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, right?
Right, he was in the comics, and like I mentioned this off, but there was a little string where he worked with Black Adam, but
Yeah.
before and after that, he was a good guy.
I didn't know that at all. Actually, from what I remember from the
had no
comics, he was always good. I mean, he was in like he had like a small role, the smallest role you possibly could have in like Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
He
He used his power once or twice.
you
on
wouldn't even
screen.
know he was Atom Smasher. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even
right.
think they said his name. We would know he's Atom Smasher.
I recognize the costume, but to anyone else, just kind of that guy that grows.
Yeah.
And smashes things.
The opposite of Ray Palmer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just yawned. I don't know. It's gonna be more annoying. Am I yawning or coughing or?
Yeah, we're gonna having a musical podcast today.
Yeah.
Music of the body.
Yeah, so Atom Smasher shows up, starts wreaking havoc, and Cisco has this gun that he invented. To particularly fight metahumans. And so what happens is it gives it to the task force of the CCPD, and of course it's like the first time they ever use it. So it goes, yeah, it'll work. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll work. And
Not today.
Not today.
Wraps around the ankle. Adam Smasher uses his powers, pops the boot right off.
Yep.
Like it wasn't even a thing.
Like nothing happened.
By the way, Adam Smasher's power is he can increase his size by using
He absorbs,
radiation.
radiation and energy.
He absorbs radiation, becomes bigger and stronger, and he can also control the density of his body. So when they all start open firing on him, the bullets just start ricocheting off of him, and suddenly a big problem, literally.
You know what I would really liked?
What was that?
Giganta versus or am I saying that right? No.
Giganta?
Yeah, Giganta.
The
and-
Wonder Woman villain?
yeah, versus Adam Smasher. That would have been cool.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I don't know if they would have the budget for that though.
I mean, I actually, considering the budget and everything, and that the special effects are kind of cheesy in a lot of these, I actually think they did a really good job with the.
For what they had.
Yeah, exactly. For
Yeah, but-
Adam Smasher increasing his size, I
Yeah.
thought I
Yeah.
liked the way they did it.
And that's what I was actually go to next, just to veer off a little bit, but go back on track. I like that. I like the fact that it's kind of cheesy with the special effects.
Yeah, I agree.
I just that factor just kind of appeals to me because like I'm so used. It's kind of like going back to an old video game console
Yeah.
for me. Like I know it's not the best of the best, but I still love it just as much. It has a certain appeal because there's just so much love put into it.
Right.
So that's kind of how I feel about the special effects of Flash. Like I know some people are kind of like, yeah, the special effects are kind of bad. I'm like, well,
They're pretty good for television.
yeah,
I would
for
think,
television.
and for their budget being on a no name,
The
not
prob-
even like a real network.
The problem is though, is that there's Game of Thrones, which that's cinematic quality special effects right there.
Well, yeah, because they got like crazy huge budgets.
Exactly. Yeah, and people like so like
It's not fair to
people
compare.
who look at Game of Thrones are like, wow, that's incredible, and they see Flash and they're like, well, what the hell happened? I'm like, it's like, listen, money is always an issue, you know.
Yeah.
There were some like freeze frame moments of Barry running where he literally looked like a small alien. I don't know if you guys noticed, like when he's in his run, excuse me, his running animation where he slows down and he just looks like what do you call those models that they use for video games with the lights on them?
Oh, mocap.
Yeah, he looks
Motion
like
capture.
a mocap body, just
Yeah.
kind of like going in very deliberate running motions. But I mean, I don't know. Like you said, it's corny, it's cheesy. We love it.
Yeah, that's why I like it though. I like that aspect of the show. I was like, because at first I was like, when I first started watching the show, I was like, I did think the same thing. I did kind of have a prejudice. I was like, yeah, like I love the show, but the special effects are whatever.
Pretty cheesy.
Yeah, but then like I don't know, the more I watch it,
They definitely fit the show, and to be honest, their special effects for the most part are better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. special effects. Which is saying something because ABC is a bigger network than the CW, and it has Marvel money coming from it.
Yeah.
Granted, the CW is owned by Warner Brothers, who owns DC, and they have that money, but
the CW I feel like is not as successful because Warner Brothers is not as big as ABC because ABC is Disney.
yeah.
So I mean, as much as I'm sure Warner Brothers has like they have big movie budget, but they probably don't have that budget to go down to trickle down to whatever their network
True.
is.
Yeah.
Whereas Disney,
Whereas Marvel's making super bank on every movie that they've put out.
yeah,
And
Like,
But
let's-
speaking of Marvel movies, did you hear that the budget for Infinity War Part 1 and 2 combined is supposedly or rumored to be about $1 billion?
jeez.
yeah, but you know what? That's a safe gamble. Like I know $1 billion is insane. I mean, that's a rumor though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like when people said
Well, that's-
Destiny's budget was $500 million. I don't think
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't
anything
believe
close to
that for a
that.
second.
Yeah,
No, that
They could have probably afforded to put a story in.
yeah.
No,
Or-
yeah. I mean,
Have Peter Dinklage voice the freaking game better.
yeah. I mean, they'd make over $1 billion on just one of the movies, but like the biggest budget that for a movie that's really happened is like $300 million.
That was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
which is crazy.
just one more statement, unless someone else has something to say, just so they get back on the episode of Flash. It's $1 billion budget between two movies, so that's $500 million a movie. That the Avengers, let's say the movie makes $1 billion, both movies make $1 billion worldwide. That's $1 billion profit.
Yeah.
So I mean, you put $1 billion, you get $2 billion
Yeah.
back. So it's
It's
really
just-
it's like if that rumor is true, that's not as bad as I don't think I think that's a safe gamble. Even if they don't,
Oh, yeah,
even
it
if they
is.
make $500 million back, that's $500 million. Like, so that's just that's just another opinion there. But I feel like we can go way more extensive than that in a different episode. So that's a future episode right there.
Yeah.
But going back into where did I leave? Where did we leave off in episode 1?
Atom Smasher.
The Atom Smasher shows up, and did we talk about how the gun didn't work?
Yep.
The boot
All right.
just popped right off.
All right. So Mike, do you want to go into a little bit what happens next after that?
Well, after the boot, they did, like I said, they have a formula that they follow. Like, they more or less get defeated by the villain, and the villain retreats or Barry retreats, whichever way it goes, depending on the episode. They go back to Star Labs. They try and figure it out, but in the new season, like you said, Barry is secluding himself from the group because he doesn't want to endanger any of his friends. But his friends want to help. They need to help. So they start yanking Barry out of his shell because they refuse to sit on the sidelines any longer.
Right.
And Barry can't figure out how to beat the Atom Smasher
So
by
you with the
himself.
podcast, you're like, yo, you guys need me on. Yeah, we're like, all right, fine, we'll take you. Except we didn't push you away. We actually like pretty much just like put a rope around your neck and
Told you,
drag you down here.
I'm always down to do this.
Yeah.
I love doing this.
Yeah.
But so what winds up happening is, like I said, he gets yanked out of his shell. His friends force him to let them help. Then I believe it was Cisco. He's usually the one who figures these things out.
Yeah.
Was it Cisco that figured out like exactly what was going on with the radio? Oh no, it was Caitlin because
It was Caitlin.
because he got the he gave her the thing that should have had radiation but didn't, or
She figured out that all the X-rays in the
all the
vicinity or
X-rays
any-
shut down as he grew.
Yeah.
So then they figure that out. They figure out how to stop him. They figure out they're going to overcharge his power. They set him up in a
It was like
power
an-
conduit, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. So he gets overpowered. He gets defeated. And then the last couple of seconds of the episode, or not the last couple of seconds, but last a part of this scene, he says, Barry asks, who sent you to do this? And he says Zoom. And everyone who knows who Professor Zoom is creams themselves
I creamed a little bit.
just a tad.
Yeah, definitely.
He also states, which is interesting, that Zoom said that he would send him home, which also explains why he's a bad guy, because he's from another Earth.
He's kind of
Yeah.
being forced to do it.
Yeah.
So at that point of the episode, you're kind of thinking like, oh, so that explains why Atom Smasher would be bad right now. Not only it's not the Atom Smasher of Earth 1.
Exactly.
Right. And one big thing that, like, in the beginning of the episode, the guy who is Atom Smasher, Al Rothstein, they find him dead at some factory or something.
Yeah.
And then when Atom Smasher shows up before he puts on his helmet, it's Al Rothstein.
Mm-hmm.
And this gets explained in episode 2, but basically, since it's a parallel universe, it means there's a doppelganger on this Earth, which we do see again in episode 2.
Right.
And then another huge thing in episode 1 is a video will from Harrison Airbarthon Wells
Yep.
confessing to
His love
killing
for Barry.
Nora Allen.
Oh, wait, I must have watched a different episode.
You watched the porno version.
Oh, okay.
The X-rated.
Yeah.
Which allows Barry
Flashcock.
to, he brings it to the police department.
The
They get his dad.
This
They get his dad out of
streak
jail
on your
finally.
face.
And then they throw
Go
a big
on.
party for Papa Allen coming out of jail. And then he,
immediately.
like,
Yeah.
almost immediately, like maybe 10 minutes in, one drink in, he's like, yeah, I gotta go,
I gotta leave.
I feel like I would just hinder, your saving town, whatever. You'd be too busy worried about me.
Says something
Like-
along the lines of, do you think you could do all of this
Yeah.
if I were here?
Worrying about him, yeah. So this fucking kid just spent 15
This
years of
pissed
his
me
life
off so much.
getting
And
him out of jail. He gets him out for like an hour.
and it didn't piss me off like TV story wise, as if like, oh, like it pissed me off that he did that to his son. Like it's like no, like I thought that was just lazy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean-
I just it was kind of like I don't know.
One way I saw it, and this is not what they said, but I mean, to me, all right, he's been proven innocent, but would you want to live in a city where literally everyone has been under the impression that you killed your wife for the last 15 years. I mean, it's been proven otherwise, but like everyone's gonna look at you in a different light.
But it's also 15 years later, and I'm sure he's not gonna be recognized right off the street. And again, yeah, he's been proven innocent, and like.
He was plastered all over the news though for that story.
Yeah,
so that's probably.
Yeah, and then I'm sure he got brought up again when Barry got put in the coma. I'm sure that made the news.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And I mean, it's happened in real life. Like people who get exonerated, proven that they didn't, actually commit the crime, still suffer from, even going to jail for it or being accused of it.
Yeah.
So
because there are people who don't believe that. There are people who
right. I mean,
still
but it's not like he needed to really do anything.
Yeah.
Barry could have, provided him for him, but
also, it is really, really easy to visit your dad when he lives far away when you're the Flash.
Right.
True.
Especially if your dad knows you're the Flash, so you don't even have to like hide it when you show up on the doorstep 10 million miles away.
Right. I understand. Like there is logic behind leaving. It's just it was not done that well.
It was too.
You're
quick.
right. It was thrown together.
It was
lazy, like you said.
Like they expected me to know it right off the bat, and it's like very seldomly does good television not explain, and it's benefited when people talk about it. And when it's done right, it's excellent because it starts conversation. But this was just kind of not the right moment. It's kind of like when that dude claps in Not Another Teen Movie at the wrong time. Like, it's just like this wasn't the right time to pull something off like that because it's like, no, this isn't what you discuss about. Like, this isn't that significant. I mean, it's significant that his father came out of jail, but this is supposed to be like a conclusion, like a positive conclusion to like an arc of of turmoil with his father being in jail for so long. It's like I don't really want to have to guess anything about that. Like, let me know he's okay. I've had to guess. Like, there's things you have to guess. Like, what does he do in jail? Like, what happened? Like, how does he deal with stuff like that? That's something that we can discuss. Where it's like, no, he's out of jail. Like, show me what else happens. It's just I don't know. I just
kind of
felt
like they went to go put the lid on it, but the lid went on just a little diagonal, and then you got like jam all over the place. And it's all sticky now, and no one's happy.
Exactly.
Like if it makes sense why he did it because then Barry would be too worried about his dad's protection that it would interfere with him saving the city as a whole or like doing everything he could to save the city as a whole. It's just like so quick into the party, like they didn't really give him too much time to spend with him outside of jail.
They barely showed him interact with any of the characters. He just kind of pulled them off to the side.
Like a 2-minute scene. They kind of rushed it.
Yeah.
But he couldn't even finish the party. He's like, you have a party to go to. It's like, no, dude, that's your party. Like, dude, how pissed would you be if you threw me a birthday party? And, like, I looked at Pat, and I was just like, hey, Pat. And, like, I grabbed you. I gave you hugs. They need you, man. And I left. You'd be like, what the fuck? Like, like, no, stay. We got you cake, you asshole. We got you your favorite flavor.
It's your favorite cake. We got your favorite drinks.
Yeah. You're the only asshole in here that likes black raspberry, so you fucking stay and eat it right now.
Yeah, it's like the episode of The Office when Michael left, and they were planning like a going away party for him, and he's just like, yeah, get this, whatever, this, and they just didn't show up. I mean, at least he showed up for this, but left. It's better for him not to show up at all. But it was rushed. That's my major complaint about
definitely.
it. Like, yeah, it makes sense because everybody in that city probably still thinks he's a killer. It doesn't matter. Whether it's proven innocent or not.
I mean, even if they don't, you just look at someone like that in a different light. It's like almost human nature. Not for everyone, but a lot of people are always going to remember, isn't that guy that got accused of killing his wife?
Yeah, like he's not going to be able to get a job. Barry only makes money from being on the CSI team. He doesn't get paid for being the Flash.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure he makes good money being a crime scene investigator.
I think he's like the only person in that department. So
it seems like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, still he really couldn't have a normal life. And Mike does have a point. Barry can literally see him within like a minute,
seconds,
anytime,
depending on where he lives.
How does a guy like that get? Well,
probably like everyone else, he's going to move to Coast City and wave some more Green Lantern in my face.
Yeah.
Now, also, too, how much? I know the government sets people up that have been exonerated, like with a certain amount of money, right? Like when they get out of jail.
I don't know. And if doesn't mean it happens in
I'm pretty sure
DC world.
What's up?
Even if that is true, doesn't mean it's gonna happen in the DC world.
Bro, right? But I'm just saying, like for Barry's dad to like just go like
like
comfortably.
Does he have a car?
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
he have? Does he
Yeah,
have
right.
money
Does
for
he
gas?
have?
I mean-
does he have tickets to get on the train? Like,
yeah, exactly. Did he stow away on that train?
Yeah.
He doesn't have.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
has
maybe
nothing,
Barry
but
could have
he's
went
just gonna
to
go.
Amanda Waller at Argus, been like, "Hey, I know you know I'm the Flash. I'm friends with Oliver. Like, you want to hook me up so I could help my dad out? Blah blah blah."
Amanda Waller is not a kind woman.
no.
She is not.
She's stern. Stern.
Darn.
Stone cold bitch, man.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, for episode 1, I really did like the episode.
We're missing one huge part.
Oh well,
with-
I forgot about that because we tend to ramble. All right.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
And-
So a mysterious figure starts
Wait,
to
wait,
walk into
wait,
Star Labs.
Hold on, you got to set it up first, because the team is back in
All right,
Star
Pat,
Labs.
you take over.
And then they're
know where
like,
you're
"Oh
going
yeah,
with
you know,
this."
last season everybody was just waltzing in here, but we beefed up the security. Nobody's gonna get in."
Oh yeah.
As soon as he says that, in
Mysterious
walks
man walks right through the door.
Jay Garrick, the
Reveals
original
himself
Flash,
to be the Flash.
and I got fully erect.
Yeah. You could have seen it from space.
yeah.
I think I might have taken down a satellite or two when I was
Yeah.
heading up there.
It was just like so funny. Like the timing
extra
on it was
crater in the moon.
perfect.
Yeah, right.
Timing on it was
Write my
perfect.
name up there with the head.
reach that robot that's on Pluto.
Yeah,
Whatever.
right. Give it a nudge.
Yeah, so in walks Jay Garrick, who in the comic book world is the original Flash, but then got retconned to be Flash of Earth 2, which is what he is for the show.
Which also, if everyone remembers from the season finale, is the owner of that helmet that came flying out of the Singularity when it first opened up.
Yes.
Yes.
Huge. You said it right before we started recording the podcast. It was like the biggest Easter egg ever.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah.
that was a huge slam dunk at the end of the series or season.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like, this time you're like, all right, we know they're doing Jay Garrick. They're not just going to throw something that big in there and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, that
They're
was
not
it.
just gonna be like, yeah, it's just a hat.
Yeah,
it's
relax,
just a blue
guys.
balls thing, you know.
it's
we're
the
just trying
same
to give you
thing with
blue
the
balls.
first episode where it's literally a cage that says Grodd. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, but it's just a cage, guys. Like,
Just a
Yeah.
monkey. Relax.
yeah.
Just a Singularity. There's not going to be no Earth 2. Don't get excited for Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
They're going to close the black hole and then go beat up some bank robbers.
All right. So, okay, you're right. I did glance over that part. But overall, I did really like the episode.
Yes.
Loved it.
I there was the part where Barry's dad, but that's really insignificant. I mean,
It was sort of nice in a way because of how short it was, so it was like a quick prick.
right? Yeah, it's like going to the doctor, getting a needle, but then you get a lollipop at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay Garrick does
Jay
make for a
Garrick
sweet
flavored
lollipop.
Yeah, it was a Jay Garrick flavor,
Crimson Comet.
which Crimson Comet. That's
Love it.
I swear, like if we ever got to a point where we had to start our own like porn industry, like could we just make our porn names like the
Scarlet
nicknames,
Speedster.
like
Crimson Comet.
yeah, nicknames that they
The
give
Green
superheroes.
Gladiator.
Webhead.
God,
Like,
Webhead
there's so
would be
many different
terrible.
ones.
Crimson Cock.
Yeah, but like don't even change it. Like just keep them like the normal names and see how like funny they get. Like the Caped Crusader, just Man of Steel itself. Just
Yeah,
explain.
Man of Steel is
yeah.
pretty good.
The different stuff that we gotta save these subjects for different podcasts.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, yeah, it was a good episode. Really good season starter. So I guess let's just go right into episode 2.
Which is aptly titled The Flash of Two Worlds,
Yeah.
which is a huge comic book event,
Oh, yeah.
which
that
actually
one part. That one
which
part
does
is so
pay off
good.
at one point in the episode because they recreate,
They recreate the
that
cover
cover,
of A Flash of Two
which
Worlds.
is like an
And
iconic cover.
If you thought the erection reached into space in the first episode, because I doubled it.
Yeah, it was one of those
Easily.
erections that you have to call the
Intergalactic
doctor.
erection.
I literally knocked Earth 2 off its axis.
It's like when the Viagra ad tells you, if it lasts more than 4 hours, go see your doctor. You got so hard, you need to go see the doctor.
I need to go see like Metron or something.
You need Rick Sanchez to check that out.
Yeah, I need Rick Sanchez to fix my wiener.
All right, so I guess Pat, you want to start off this episode?
Yeah.
You want to start off episode 2?
So it begins literally right
Rick and
where
Morty episode.
Yeah,
right
seriously.
where episode 1 left off with Jay Garrick saying This world is in danger. Cisco's like, what other worlds are there? He goes, well, there's a talk about parallel universes, and then Dr. Stein drops knowledge bomb,
The multiverse.
bitch. And then, of course, he labels their Earth 1.
They were very subtle with this.
As is to be, yeah, so subtle. This is Earth 1.
We'll
this
call
is
it.
our
Perhaps we'll call
Earth.
it Earth 1, and just like, well, damn,
Theirs
you
is
really
Earth
reached out of the hat with that
2.
one.
Yeah.
This is not our Earth. So then, of course, even though Jay's there with good intentions, the team, Barry especially, is really, really skeptical of him.
For good reason.
For good reason. You might remember from last season, some guy
certain
that Barry
arch-villain.
looked up to and, was supposed to help him become a better hero, blah, blah, blah. Ends up being the guy who killed his mom. Was trying to kill him.
Kind of a hot button issue with
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah. And then especially because Jay is without his powers on Earth. He's like, yeah, I was a speedster and the Flash on my Earth.
So
But I don't have
everything
my
just
powers
seems
here.
Real sketchy.
Yeah. So, it's just like kind of like, can you prove it though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like whenever
It's easy to walk up to somebody and say, I am a speedster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have my powers right now, so
yeah.
you'll just have to take my word for it.
It's like me telling somebody, yeah, I make about $15 million a year. Oh, yeah, let me see your bank statement or something. Like your
I
paycheck.
lost my credit card. Or I lost
Yeah.
my debit card.
Yeah.
I don't
exactly.
have access to any of my funds because of they're all tied up in equities. I don't know what that means. But I've heard people say it before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, needless to say, they're skeptical of him. They run some tests on him. And then he gets shirtless, and you can see Caitlin Snow start to melt
Yo,
a little
listen,
bit.
Getting hot and creamy over there.
Listen, like, it's just so, like, I just felt like watching that part, I'm like, were they kind of thinking, like, all right, how do we get girls to watch the show?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that actor is on Masters of Sex for a reason.
Is he? I didn't
He
even
is.
know that.
That's where
Damn.
he's. I don't know if he still is, but he was on it.
that guy
Before he came in Flash.
that guy looks like a
So he
sexual
is
master,
the
though.
Crimson Comet.
Yeah, he really
Exactly.
That dude is like that's
Bada
that's a
bing.
dude that like you see like you're trying to hit at a girl in a bar and that guy just walks up. You're like, damn.
Completely ignores the both of you, but she's just looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can I get just 2 beers? Oh, who you buying it for? Just 2 for myself.
Me.
And she just goes right over.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, are you sure?
that's that dude.
Yeah. He's just ripped.
Dude,
Yeah.
they acknowledge
And
it in the show too. Cisco is like, that's Barry's old sweatshirt.
Except
It looks
much
really
smaller.
small on him.
That was so funny.
They're just like throwing it in Barry's face that, wow, you are a stringy superhero.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at
Barry,
him.
you're a little scrawny
Yeah.
bitch.
That guy could probably deck you in the face.
Yeah. So then they still run some tests on him. Caitlin's swooning. Snow is melting in her pants, I would say.
The snow is indeed melting.
And then, so, the team's trying to convince him. Teddy, that's his real name. Jay is trying to convince him, like, listen, shit's going down, help me out. Now we're going to lock you in the particle accelerator. And then another metahuman comes. We actually see Zoom this time. Well, we see him twice because Jay recounts what happened once the singularity opened. He was fighting Zoom. Zoom was about to kill him. Boom, black hole, saves his life.
Yep.
And then Zoom brings over Sand Demon, who we find out isn't using sand. He's basically using dead skin cells. He's basically using eczema as his powers,
Yeah.
which is pretty gross.
Yeah.
Why you
they
keep scratching
pretty
yourself?
powerful.
Eczema.
Yeah. But we
Why
see,
are they going away?
but we
Making
see
a giant
Zoom,
fist.
and he's like dark blue and black,
Really
and his
dark.
mouth is looks like the Scarecrow mask, and he's got this demonic voice, which I really like.
He looks cool.
from the famous Tony Todd, and I'm thinking he's the rival, which is Jay Garrick's Reverse Flash, just in a similar costume to the regular Flash and Reverse Flash.
Mm-hmm.
That's one theory. Or I saw somebody bring it up on Reddit that he's Pollux, which is basically the Bizarro Flash that was created for the 1990s Flash.
That's interesting.
Which I guess it's a fine idea. I don't I don't agree with it.
When
I'd rather
when you
be
say Bizarro, do you mean literally Bizarro, or do you mean
No,
like
it's like the
he's just like a
Bizarro
flip-
version.
or he's just like a flip-flopped version of?
yeah.
I'm pulling
So
up
you mean,
images.
like, literally
he is,
Bizarro.
He's Flash's Bizarro.
Okay.
I'm pulling up images of the rival Flash, and it's like related searches come up as like Cobalt Blue Flash. So like it kind of like I see this picture. He like it kind of looks
He does
similar.
have blue lightning and black
It's
everything else.
not going to be Cobalt Blue though,
Right.
unless they change his origin heavily because
Right. I
I
Cobalt
personally
Blue.
don't know anything about Cobalt Blue except that
He
he's blue.
is
and then he's Cobalt.
Yeah.
he's Barry's twin brother, who the doctor took away at birth and told the Allens that he was stillborn, and gave to the Thawne family, whose child died in birth, thinking,
Mhm.
well, they got one, they could have one too.
That's
And
messed
this
up.
it's what started the Thawne Allen hatred, basically.
Oh, okay.
Except Malcolm Thawne, Barry's evil twin brother, literally his evil twin brother for once. His powers come from a talisman. That
It's interesting.
he basically has does have super speed. That's a blue trail. Uses a blue sword construct.
Yep,
type
I see
of
that
deal.
coming up right now.
Which, if they were going to do Cobalt Blue, they would have made it Eddie from last season.
Yeah.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned.
They
Well,
might
I
have
mean,
just
there's
they might have they might have got
Unless-
a little bit of inspired look from it.
Yeah.
But there's also other images of the rival looking like Jay Garrick, but a little darker, a little more zombie like.
Well, yeah, Jake, the rival, basically darkens his face, has a dark blue look to him, has blue lightning, and is literally Jay's doppelganger. So they could be doing a combination of that Cobalt Blue. They could be doing really anything. But since they don't know who he is, my guess is he's going to be whatever the name of the rival is.
Right.
That's who he's going to end up being. But they're doing a Darth Vader. The guy voicing Zoom probably isn't the guy in the suit. The guy voicing him is Tony Todd, a.k.a. the Candyman,
Yeah.
who I'm
Great
really
movie.
excited about. Yeah, I'm really excited about him. He sounds great already.
Mike, did you ever see Candyman?
I have not.
It's a good movie. It'll freak you out, actually.
Is that a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
The guy Clive Barker who wrote Hellraiser and Nightbreed. Did you ever see those movies?
I know of them.
Yeah, he wrote the book Candyman. It was directed into a movie. and
Gotcha.
The movie's actually pretty good, but it's just a little side.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff, but that's he was the main character in that, so it's easiest to refer to him like that. So yeah, we get our first view of Zoom, which was pretty quick. It took 2 episodes to see it, while Arrow took 10 minutes to show their big bad. But still was pretty quick, which is fine.
Yeah. But also, I feel
I'm
like
okay with that though.
I'm okay with that too, because I feel like now Zoom is going to be the reason all these new villains are coming about. Like before,
Yeah,
it was
he's
the particle accelerator. Now Zoom's just bringing them in.
Yeah, he's literally, I don't know, I guess we'll figure out how, but he's able to bring metahumans from Earth 2, from Earth 2 through the singularity portals to Earth 1. This could be bringing evil metahumans that way.
Well, I didn't read too many Flash comics, but if I'm not mistaken, at some point in time, one of the Reverse Flashes, I think it was Thawne, pretty much mastered time travel, or is it?
Yeah.
Or it might even be Zoom, as per the comics, the one that Wally West always fights, because we were talking about before,
he
his
literally
actual
controls
powers.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Basically, he can't stop it though.
Right, he moves in between time.
Yeah.
He moves in between seconds.
Right.
Is what gives him the appearance of speed.
Right.
But yeah, time travel and interdimensional travel, 2 different things,
Yeah,
really.
that's true.
Tom Cavanaugh's character last year, Eobard Thawne, was a frequent time traveler because he was from the 25th century.
Yeah.
So Zoom's able to access these portals and come between
All willy-nilly.
the multiverse. Yeah, he comes over, drops off an evil metahuman, then leaves instead of trying to kill the Flash himself. Which, kind of did.
Well, one thing to think about is Jay Garrick lost his powers, who's to say that Zoom wouldn't lose his powers if he stayed too long on Earth?
True.
Or Earth 1. Maybe he's afraid. Not afraid, but he's being overly cautious. Because one of the things they said in the episode was he wants to be the only speedster. So anything that would make him lose his powers would make him, he would avoid that at all costs because he's psychotically obsessed with being the only speedster, according to Jay Garrick in this second episode.
Could be. If he even thinks that's a possibility, he may not know that's a possibility. He probably just doesn't want to get his hands dirty and wants to terrorize Earth too more, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, his goal, we find out his goal is to be the only speedster, and that's why these evil metahumans are coming.
Actually, another thing that I just thought of, Sand Demon said to Jay Garrick when they used Jay Garrick as a decoy, I thought you were dead. So who's to say that Zoom even knows that Jay Garrick is alive right now? He might have just assumed he died in the singularity. But on the flip side to that coin, I feel like Zoom is too smart, especially if he's using these singularities to go back and forth so frequently, to think that it killed him because he's doing it. So it could go one of two ways there.
Yeah, or his obsession could be clouding that. But the problem occurs because Jay Garrick lost his powers coming to Earth 1, but the metahumans that Zoom is bringing over, Atom Smasher and Sand Demon, didn't. Yeah. So I wonder if it's because he's able to control that, or it had to do with that specific singularity. I'm sure we'll find that out.
It was the real powerful singularity that
brought
Jay
was like
through,
a literal interdimensional black hole.
Oh, and also the 52 small singularities was also very subtle.
There was a lot of subtle references there.
The subtle references were about as subtle as the anti-smoking commercials we watched during this friggin' episode.
Yeah, they're just like, huh? You see?
Smoking
huh?
It's just... but I liked it in the flash, though.
I loved it. I had no problem with it.
Yeah, it's just funny.
I mean, we all looked at each other like,
yeah.
52.
That was appropriate
52 portals, and everyone's just like, what? 52? That's so many. Such a weird number.
Yeah. I wonder why they did that. But yeah, no, there's a lot of good references. And then Barry gets a new power in this episode.
That was really cool.
Courtesy of Jay Garrick teaching him. He's able to literally throw lightning, which is pretty badass.
Getting Zeus up in here.
Yeah. That's what Cisco said. That was great.
And also, I like did we already mention the part where Jay Garrick says, "Oh, Sand Demon," and Cisco's like, "I know you're new around here."
Oh yeah.
But I think of the names, but I will forgive you for this time because that's a great name.
Yeah. And then another.
Now that we're on Cisco.
Yeah, another big thing that we didn't mention.
We're all over the part in this
episode 1 is Cisco, when he was examining Sand Demon's cells or whatever the shit
cellular
that was.
Structure,
he had this vibe vision of Sand Demon being brought over by Zoom or something of the sort, and then later on again in the episode they end up being able to find Sand Demon because Cisco has feeling the vibe. Another
they were also
not so subtle
about.
Reference in your face that he's able to basically absorb the vibration of time. However they word it, but he also did that in episode 1.
Mm-hmm. Seems like anyone who is from the other timeline or Earth, however you want to refer to it, whenever he comes into contact with that energy, the exotic energy that they mentioned, he gets like a glimpse of where that person is because he saw the one from Atom Smasher, then he saw the one for Sand Demon.
Yeah, and he's scared of it.
Ominous there.
And he's scared of it because, like he said, Wells basically said he gave it to him as a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, it would freak me out too, not having powers, and then boom, I could see myself dying.
Yeah.
From the guy who gave me these powers, and boom, I could see
because he was killed in another timeline also.
Yeah.
So
which
there's
was
like a whole bunch of dots connecting here.
At the end of last season, he was able to what he thought was dreams to revisit that.
Mm-hmm.
From the outside in.
This kind of reminded me actually just I mean, it's not completely off topic, but just kind of remind me of like Cisco being really good friends with Barry, but eventually gaining powers. I don't know if this is a DC trend because I can only think of it in another show. Was in Static Shock, which was a great show. His friend, I forget his friend's name, because they're all the Bang Babies. They get all the powers, but since his friend, who ends up becoming Gear, he becomes a Bang Baby because he hung around Static Shock that whole night, and eventually because the residue went on him and his friend got powers. Is there any other instance in the DC universe of a friend or somebody getting powers around the particular superhero? I'm sure there's a lot more.
Ferris, getting the Star Sapphire because she wouldn't be exposed to any of the cores.
I just feel like that's kind of somewhat of a trend.
Pepper Potts from Marvel got the Extremis as a result of being around Tony Stark, and then her own armor.
Well, I'm talking about strictly DC.
Strictly DC?
Yeah. I'm talking about like someone who's really, well, again, that makes sense. Someone's really close, but it's also like you can't inherit Iron Man's powers.
Well, you
or like
you can just wear his clothes. Basically.
Yeah, and beat his villains.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we got to do a little more research on that because when I was watching that, I was like, I feel like that's a thing, but I don't know enough about it.
It could be, but I mean, he was at the particle accelerator explosion.
Yeah,
he was down in like, he was standing on the other side of the door.
In this particular mythos, like it's easy to like assume that he could have just gotten those powers. Maybe when Wells did whatever he did, he jump-started it or something. Maybe that's why it's coming into him in such flashy ways.
Maybe it happened because of the alternate timeline. Barry.
Totally.
Most of the time he was able to actually experience two different timelines. Maybe that set it off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to the episode, we do get confirmation of there being doppelgangers on Earth 1 and Earth 2, because Joe ends up chasing down who he thinks is the Sand Demon, only for it to be his powerless Earth 1 version.
The crappy Earth 1 version.
Yeah, the crappy Earth 1 version. Although there was a nice reference to Blackgate Prison, because he ended up being there the night of the particle accelerator.
Yeah.
A lot of references. And then we get a new character, Patty Spivot, who becomes Joe's partner and the only other person on his metahuman task force, who clearly hit it off with Barry and has
there's some synergy there.
Has a hard-on for metahumans.
Talk about throwing some lightning bolts, huh?
Well, I want to say a hard-on for metahumans. She has a hard-on for a metahuman, but then metahumans in general, I don't think she's really particularly a fan of.
I mean, she really wants to get him.
Yeah. For not get him as in, like Tinder get him, but like I get him as in...
She only wants to swipe right.
Actually kill them.
She only wants to swipe right for Barry. Or the Flash, excuse me. But swipe left for Mark Martin.
Yeah.
Who ended up... It was a nice connection there. Ended up killing her dad.
Yeah,
I mean, that sucks, but good connection.
Nice connection. Killed her dad.
So I forget how that wound up ending, because that is when things got a little, like, jumbled up in Season 1. So when he went to stop the tidal wave for Weather Wizard and put himself back in time, what exactly happened with Weather Wizard again? He just like stopped him like.
Oh yeah, he knew where he was right away,
and then exactly. So he's locked away, I think.
Well,
right
in episode 22, when they recruit Captain Cold, Heatwave, and Golden Glider, like Snart, to help him transport them, Mark Martin was in the truck.
Oh right, okay.
And then
so he's
got sabotaged. He's on the loose.
Yeah. Well, the Rogues are.
Yeah,
together.
the Rogues.
Can be assumed that the Rogues are together right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I want to see Mirror Master in this season.
Yeah.
I think somewhere I heard one of the producers said that we'll see him this season. Hopefully that's true.
I want to see Mirror Master.
That'd be really cool. Oh, Mark Hamill's coming back.
Yes, as the Trickster. I'm very excited about that because he's amazing.
He is. I hope he does another Star Wars reference, because that one last season was so fucking good.
I'm not sure. I mean, I've wanted to see Grodd since this show was announced. I wanted nothing more than Grodd, and I was actually pretty disappointed the way he was displayed in Season 1, but I'm telling myself that he's like slowly gaining his intelligence.
No, he is. It's been confirmed that he's getting
it's like
in the episode that he's gonna the episode that he's gonna come back in, he's bigger and smarter
Yeah, okay.
and has
That's
stronger
good because-
control of his psychic powers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good because I was real disappointed when he came up and he was like an idiot. Like, well, not an idiot,
Well,
clearly not an idiot, but like
the thing about it, 'cause-
comparatively,
Compared to the
compared to
yeah,
Grodd.
compared to
Well, yeah,
Grodd.
because it's different
Gorilla City
origins. It's different origins. You know, he
Yeah.
got his powers basically from the particle accelerator as well.
Yeah.
And he's a gorilla, so
Mhm.
finally getting some sentient conscious. It's going to take some
Yeah.
getting used to, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I want to. I don't know if I want to, because I feel like I don't want Gorilla Grodd to be a one episode thing, like most of the villains
Right.
wind up being, like most of the smaller villains wind up being. I want Gorilla Grodd to be like, I want them to really, really go in on it with Gorilla Grodd. So I don't
Mhm.
even know if I want to see him this season. Maybe save him for next season.
The thing
no,
is,
he's going to be in this season.
Well, I mean, like, I don't want him to be like defeated this. You know what I mean. I want
Yeah.
them to like have a big focus on him at some point.
I'm sure they will at some point.
I agree. I like that. I just I don't know. Well, I agree and I disagree. I agree because I love Gorilla Grodd as a villain. I disagree because with the change of origins, I feel like Gorilla Grodd's not as big as a villain in the series as he is normally in the comics.
You're right.
Yeah.
So like Gorilla Grodd in the comics is one of like the big DC super villains.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's not as powerful as, obviously his Darkseid or anybody else, but just his presence in general. The whole Gorilla City story is just a huge arc and story, so I don't really know how they can do a huge focus on Gorilla Grodd without it being really silly.
I mean, he does kind of want to devolve humans into gorillas, so I think it's gonna be silly regardless.
It's gonna be silly regardless, but it's just I don't know how they could properly do it because of the change of origin. Like I feel like to me as and listen, like I'm not saying I hate this Gorilla Grodd. I like this Gorilla Grodd in the show. I just feel like the change of origin honestly makes him a little less significant.
I agree.
Well, what they
Because-
could do is increase the significance in the episode or episodes that he's in this season, and then instead of having an evil speedster as the big bad for season 3, make him the overarching big bad of the season.
They would have to do something. They would have to have a certain amount of episodes dedicated to Gorilla Grodd to build up to that moment. Then, like he has to like maybe start his own Gorilla City, or like he makes other intelligent gorillas, and then there's other gorilla. But then like
Planet of the Apes.
Or
Planet
he
of
can,
the Apes, yeah, it's just
or he
like,
could do what he did with Eiling, which was control them to do his bidding and basically turn him into a soldier, like his
Yeah.
own personal soldier. He could do that with people, or he could, collect metahumans to do the same thing
Mm-hmm.
in place of gorillas.
doesn't Gorilla Grodd run the Legion of Doom for time to time?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there was a time.
So I mean, they could.
At
do
the very
something-
least, in the animated series, he was the leader of the Legion of Doom. Until
Yeah, it was
Lex
him.
Luthor.
It was always between him and Lex Luthor, which is I love that series.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
my
good.
favorite DC animated series.
So great.
I
I heard they're coming out with a new one. Did you
yeah,
hear that?
the
They're-
Canadian Cartoon Network like dropped the ball or something like that.
Yeah.
No, they dropped a bomb.
Dropped the bomb. I can't get
I'm
those
excited.
catchphrases down today.
You just suck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, as long as they don't
You like
treat
that
it.
guy
Thanks,
from,
Pat.
you like that guy from
It's a
Blue
good connection.
Saints.
Their dad died. You
Yeah.
suck today.
As long as they don't treat it like Young Justice, I'll be happy.
I mean,
That was-
we're all gonna see it coming.
Yeah,
'Cause it never
I'm already
doesn't
prepared
happen.
for it.
Listen, as much as I love Cartoon Network, they are like the NBC of cartoon channels.
Yeah.
Like, they got something really good on their hands, and it's handed terribly. I'm surprised Jimmy Fallon has lasted this long. You know?
They can't afford to get rid of the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
God rest in peace, Young Justice.
Yeah, right?
Seriously.
Leave us on a fucking cliffhanger like
So
that.
great. Yeah, fucking Vandal Savage talking to Darkseid.
Son of a
Fucking
bitch.
having tea in their backyard.
Well,
But at least we're getting to see Vandal Savage on Legends tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
That'll be sweet because the guy they cast for him looks awesome.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
you know what? Honestly, if there was ever a survey for Netflix to do, like, what show would you want us to save, I would say Young Justice.
Yeah.
Not a bad choice,
Hands
but
down.
because they have that Marvel deal, they might not be able to do that.
Yeah, true. But
Yeah.
I mean, they have
You all
Flash and
can't see
Arrow on
this.
there.
You all can't see this,
But
but I'm giving a thumbs
It
down.
it's their
Yeah.
own production. It's
I want
different.
Young Justice back.
Yeah, no, good
It's
point.
different from hosting content. To
I would get
producing
Hulu
content.
Plus non-commercial if Young Justice was revived on Hulu Plus.
I
See
would
that?
do
That makes
whatever it
sense.
took to watch that show.
Speaking of Darkseid, I was looking up Tony Todd's filmography. He actually, in the last 2 Lego animated movies or
He do
video
Lego
game,
Darkseid.
he was Darkseid.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Which is
Those games
funny.
are so much fun. You ever play the Lego Batmans?
No.
They're really fun.
I actually bought Lego Batman 3 for
Beyond
I
Gotham.
got it on Steam. Yeah, I got it on Steam and that was so much fun. It was like horrendously easy because it's for kids, but like I enjoyed every
Still
second of
fun.
playing it.
Yeah. See, that's a game I don't know. Like that's a game like if like I don't know if I would be able to explain. Like I would play it. Obviously, I wouldn't care. But if someone's like, "Why are you playing a kids game?"
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I mean,
At least like a Mario game, it looks like a kids game. I'm like, but the challenge is extraordinary in like certain levels. Like, oh, okay.
Let's push that for after this episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, we're still on the Flash.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right. We're for our listeners who are dedicated, we're getting better at not going off
trying to keep
topic.
on track.
or at least roping ourselves back
yeah,
in.
so
every once in a while now.
Episode 2 was a solid follow-up.
I thought it was a better episode.
It was a better episode,
I
yes.
agree.
I'm excited. Was excited for more Jay screen time, as I'm sure Caitlin was when she was wrapping up
Wrapping up his wounds.
his wounds on that rock hard ab.
I wonder if
And then,
I wonder if Jay finds
rippling
Caitlyn
pecs.
attractive though, or is he just kind of like
I don't know the way he was acting. He seems like one of those like heroism is above all else. Like he wasn't even
Yeah.
acknowledging her as a woman. They were just
Could be.
all like other people in the room where justice needs to be done, kind of like Batman. Except
Could
less
be.
broody.
Or what if never mind. I can't say it.
Say it.
I was gonna say, what if the Caitlyn of his timeline is like the Caitlyn Jenner of our
Oh,
time?
that's fucked up.
So he's like not attracted to her whatsoever.
Could be.
He's just like sitting there, and
He'd be
everyone's
like,
just like,
I
"Hey,
know
Jay,
what's
what's
under
wrong."
there.
He's like, "Well, on my Earth, she's a man."
Yeah.
Or she's on Earth too. She's Killer Frost, and he's
Could
like,
be Killer Frost.
back
yeah.
off, bitch. Who
That's
knows?
actually probably
Maybe he
more
doesn't-
realistic.
Maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't trust her because he feels as though she's
She's-
gonna turn to be Killer Frost.
Could be. She has a heart of ice. And I'm excited to see more Zoom. And then Barry's gonna get another love interest that's not Iris for once. Well, so that'll be good.
Which is kind of interesting.
Hopefully, it lasts better
it's,
than
it's gonna be another
Linda Park
Eric and
from
Donna.
last season. Do you think so?
Yeah, it's gonna dude Eric and Donna, 100%. I could just see it. I could smell it. I love that.
At
side.
least-
as long as it's not the last season of Arrow.
Yeah,
that's
fuck
if
that.
we can avoid that kind of relationship being dragged, kicking and screaming through the entire series for
Yeah.
just fuck off that season.
Yeah. But you
Yep.
know what?
Season could
Barry's
have been 5 episodes long, and we still would have gotten everything.
Barry's
down.
got some diverse taste though. He likes the chocolate and Iris. He has a thing for Asian girls with
He
Linda
likes German
Park,
chocolate.
and now he likes a little
blonde hair and
blonde,
blue
little
eyes.
white chocolate.
He doesn't discriminate.
Doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
As most heroes shouldn't.
No,
It's true.
especially when saving people, not just dating.
I think you're right. I think you should strive to save
All
regard-
races.
All right.
all races
Yeah.
and all
All
the
right.
Caitlyn
Is there
Jenners of the
anything else
world.
we really need to talk about with
Big
this episode?
takeaway. We're going to see more Jay Garrick without powers. Hopefully, at one point, he does get powers. New metahuman task force and a new love interest for Barry.
We're gonna explore Cisco's powers,
His vibe.
his vibe.
Eventually, we get a new Firestorm partner for Dr. Stein.
Do you know his name? Because there's the
Jay.
black kid,
Jay Jackson.
Jay Jackson. Okay,
I think that's his name.
Yeah.
But that I don't
Black
know when that'll
Lantern,
happen.
Firestorm turns his girlfriend into table salt.
There you
gruesome.
go.
Pretty gruesome. Anyway,
Then we're gonna see
spoilers
both.
for anyone who wants to read Darkest or Blackest Night.
Yeah,
That was a really, really great arc.
Yeah.
Hawk Girl and Hawkman at one point. We did get a glimpse of the actress playing Hawk Girl in the
When the
season
Singularity
finale,
opened.
but we're gonna see them in costume before Legends of Tomorrow. Damien Dark from Arrow is gonna be on Flash and Legends Tomorrow as well. It's gonna be sweet.
It's gonna be dope. Anything else? Anything else we can bring up, or is that pretty much covered everything in episode 2?
I think we covered first 2 episodes.
Mike, you got a general consensus or anything, or anything to add?
Anything to add?
That was my shirt today.
Hmm?
You like my shirt?
I do.
All right.
Descendants they're pretty good.
Thanks. All right. So I guess that about wraps up for episode 2. We're gonna take a small break, and we're gonna have actually an original topic coming up next. So stay in tune.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Awesome Sunday Show. I'm Mike Sands, and I'm here with Connor and Pat. And our next topic that we're going to discuss today is we're going to talk about how all the releases of the trailers and the first looks and all the pictures from the scenes from all upcoming movies and comic book stuff, and
in general, like movies
just
and
generally
TV shows.
speaking. Does it, I mean, for most of us who are more knowledgeable about the fan bases, it's all really cool to see, but does it actually cause spoilers to run rampant through social media, internet, pretty much on TV, everywhere?
Just revealing too much.
Does that hurt, like, people's desire to see it?
When you talk about people's desire, I mean, obviously, like, it does. I go into these movies like knowing what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
In TV shows, like most of the time, like Guardians of the Galaxy, because I never really read those comics. I had no clue, and I'm glad because I enjoyed that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like, are you talking about just everyone in general?
In
Like,
general,
Let me.
every movie, every show in general.
But like of the general audience, like not comic book fans.
Right.
So it ruins it for them.
Anything.
Let me use an example, going back to the episode of Flash we just talked about. At the end of the first episode of the new season of The Flash, Atom Smasher, Barry says, "Who sent you to do this?" And Atom Smasher says, "Zoom." Now, I watch these shows with my dad frequently. My dad is not knowledgeable in all of this, all of the comic book lore, all the characters that are connected to all these characters. He just watches the shows. He likes the shows, and that's pretty much where it ends. But for me, I can't help myself. When they said Zoom, I sort of went on a tangent, told him who Zoom was,
As
and
we all
now,
would.
yeah, exactly. As a lot of us can't help. I wound up telling him who Zoom was, and I'm sure, I don't know whether he minded too much or not, but I'm sure that took a lot of the sting out of the next episode when they go into detail who Zoom is. Like, he probably sat very, like, oh well, I could have been surprised by all this, and I could have enjoyed it a lot more if I heard it from them than from me.
Yeah.
But that's just an example to try and like put it on the other side, because like you said, for us, we know what's happening. We're just excited to see it portrayed in certain ways. But to like a more general audience who isn't,
Well, I'm not talking specifically comic book.
Well, no, I know. I'm just that just
It's
happened
just
to
an
be
example.
Yeah. So I think it really does give away too much, especially when they have like 3 teaser trailers, then like 4 regular trailers. They have an international trailer, then they have a final trailer, then it's like first look promo shots of stills from the movie, and like it does end up spoiling like the climax and the twist or the ending of the film. Like one example is like the newest Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
They gave away the huge twist in the first trailer.
Yeah. And that's
like,
unfortunate too.
And even the director was like, "Yeah, these trailers gave away way too much. Like, it sucks."
A lot, and I didn't know this until you told me, but most of the time, directors don't have say over what goes out.
Right,
in the
it's made by a different department. The same goes for like TV episodes. Because on the last season of Arrow, during a commercial for, like during, that episode of Arrow, there was a commercial for next week's Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Except they didn't let the events that set up next week's happen.
Yeah.
Because it was like the first commercial break in that episode. You're like, all right, well, this spoils the end of this episode and then next episode. And then like it happens a lot. Like there are just too many trailers, in my opinion, released.
What's really notorious for doing this? A lot of comedies.
Yeah.
Because when comedies release their trailers, they always put the funniest parts in the trailers, and then when they roll by those parts in the movie, we're like, all right, we heard this like 100 times because I keep seeing it on the TV.
That's awesome that you bring that up too, because I have a story about my dad too with something like that.
Shout out to all the dads.
Shout out to dads who put up with us.
Dads are awesome.
So
Go on.
The Simpsons movie was phenomenal. I thought that movie was one of the funniest movies I ever saw in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old school Simpsons fan. I mean, I shouldn't say old school because I'm younger, but I like the older episodes, so I like the old school episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly like seasons 1 through 9, 1 through 10. But like the funniest part of the movie was in the trailer, and it was Spider Pig.
Yeah.
That part, like I saw that trailer in the theaters for the first time, which is weird because I think that's the only trailer I can ever remember seeing in the theaters first before it was on the internet. So like the last one, like at that time. So seeing that trailer in the theater lost it. Everyone was dying.
I remember I was one of them too.
And then in the movie itself, it got just as big as laugh as it did in the trailer. So it was kind of like it was one of those few times where like, it didn't really matter. But then like the other scenes the other scenes where Homer's like going through like the small hole to escape Springfield and because they're in the dome, people weren't really laughing at that. It was really just the Spider Pig moment that people like were uproarious because it was just such a funny part. It was such a classic Homer Simpson moment. So like in the Simpsons movie, as funny as that movie was, but there were still parts in the trailer that really gave away some like really good parts. But then with my dad, I forgot like he didn't see the movie, and I was seeing, and he's like, Connor, like, why do I want to watch the Simpsons movies? Like, I only like the old Simpsons. I'm like, dude, Dad, just like Spider Pig. I'm just telling you, have to watch Spider Pig. And I did the same thing somewhat, and like I kind of gave away the funniest part of the movie, and he was still laughing, but I was like, damn, like I kind of just screwed it up, and I was like, I kind of felt like a trailer there. I was like, as funny because like that's just the one example. Even that part was royally funny. That happens in comedies a lot.
Well, yeah, and it happened a lot for Anchorman 2 as well.
Yeah, I already knew what happened. I know what happens in Anchorman 2. I haven't even seen the movie, and I know what happens.
Yeah, because the trailer had basically...
If you want to watch Anchorman 2 properly, just look for the Anchorman fight at the end, and then stop.
Yeah.
Because that movie was awful.
Anchorman 2?
Oh, yeah. I didn't like it at all. I mean... Everyone's open to their opinion.
I hear mixed things.
It wasn't. Initially, I liked it a lot. I still like it. It's not better than Anchorman 1.
Anchorman 1,
but
I think it's an untouchable.
But the Anchorman fight in Anchorman 2 was better.
Oh yeah,
because it had much better cameos.
Spoiler alert: Harrison Ford turning into a werewolf.
That was crazy.
Really? Dude, the Anchorman fight in Anchorman 1 was great.
Look up
Steve Carell has like the grenade.
Yeah.
And he has like a trident too.
Yeah, just
you killed the guy.
The second one is better.
You need to look up the Anchorman 2 Anchorman fight because it's actually better.
Yeah.
Really?
And then like another one that gave away the ending, which, literally had the ending scene in it, was the trailer for The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
It showed the last scene of the movie in the trailer, which was not even a good scene.
The scene was terrible with the kid just standing there. What cops just standing there, don't get the kid. What? That didn't even make sense. That movie sucks. And I like who directed it, Mark Webb.
Mark Webb.
I like him a lot.
It's a convenient name to
Yeah, I was
Spider-Man
just thinking the
movie.
same thing. I
That's
thought
the only reason he got it.
Yeah.
I thought Mark Webb in my
It
head.
sells itself.
I thought Mark Webb in my head, and I was like, wait, it can't be Mark Webb. It's Spider-Man. I was like, so that's why I asked you. Hasn't like Mark Webb? I was like, oh wow, Mark Webb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Amazing Spider-Man 1 a lot actually. The first movie I think is really good.
Second
500
one
Days
is
of Summer is
complete
a really good movie
horseshit.
too. But yeah, the second movie was bad, and I don't know whether
And that was like
it might not have been him 100% though.
whatever. That scene was not a good scene to begin
It was
with.
terrible. Yeah.
And it was not a good scene in the trailer, and then it's the last scene, and it just was like the last scene of the movie, and you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell is that? And then
The
like,
Rhino was awful.
it
literally
was
awful.
It wasted Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Like, that dude's crazy talented. They wasted him on a shitty
But
character.
also the worst part of that trailer too is like not only did it give a lot away, but it also misled you because you were believing that was going to be a major fight within the movie among the
Yes.
villains, and it
but
wasn't at
he
all.
had
And
probably
I-
like 3 minutes worth of screen time.
when I watched that movie, I was like, "Where's the Rhino?"
Yep.
And I was like, and it happens a lot. Like in Amazing Spider-Man 2, first off, I think she's gorgeous. Shailene Woodley was supposed to be Mary Jane Watson, but they cut her out of the movie.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then I was watching the movie. I was like, oh, they probably cut out the Rhino too because it didn't make a lot of sense. And I was already kind of not liking the movie. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's all right. Well, it's a good thing they cut out the Rhino because it might have been way too much. And it was right at the end. Like,
Well, you know what
right
they
at
could have
the
done?
end.
They could have cut out the part where it's literally a fucking 7-minute scene of Peter and Gwen like rekindling their relationship with some shitty fucking country romance song going over the entirety of the scene, and it's just like a quick thing like, we're going to the park, we're so happy, like that. Could have cut that out. Should have cut out the whole part with Green Goblin. Or you know what? Replaced either Green Goblin or Electro because they both sucked.
Yeah.
And it sucks because Jamie Foxx and Dane DeHaan are both very good actors.
Yeah, I
Wasted-
agree. Well, Paul
waste of
Giamatti's a
talent.
great actor too.
I know. It wasted everybody's talent in that movie was completely
Yeah,
wasted.
Andrew Garfield is a great actor too. I think he was a great Peter Parker.
No. I think he was a great Spider-Man.
He was a much better Spider-man.
He
I
was.
don't think he was a good Peter Parker.
But I
he was
don't
a good
think
Peter
it's
Parker.
his fault. I don't like the way Peter Parker was written in that series.
No, see, I agree with that. I think Peter Parker was
I
written
mean, that's
different.
fair. It's,
Was written differently, but for what he did,
Yeah.
I think it was good.
I-
I think I would like to have seen. I have really high hopes for this Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic
I
Universe.
really liked Andrew Garfield as a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
specifically.
I like this. The one thing I liked over Amazing Spider-Man 2 over Amazing Spider-Man 1 was the costume itself.
Yeah, costume is great. And then I think that even like last week, comic book resources or whatever, they're like, oh, first look at Mr. Fantastic in the new season of Arrow, and it was just a picture of the actor playing him in a lab, not dressed up in not in costume or whatever as
just
Mr.
a guy standing
Mr.
in the
Terrific. He's just there, and it's something that came out 4 months ago. And like it's like stupid, and then like
It's kind
this,
of the opposite end of it, really.
yeah, it's like it's not the first look. We already seen it,
Yeah.
and it's not even him like in
costume.
character. And then like the sizzle reels from Comic-Con, like I mean, like the Flash one was awesome. It was fucking sweet, but it showed a lot of like what I could have waited to see,
Mhm.
like full-on encounters between Flash and some major players.
Yeah.
But I do think that, for everyone wanting to avoid spoilers so much, like especially like for people that are like 3 seasons behind, like of a show that came out like ended like 4 years ago, they're like, no, spoilers, or like they'll stay off social media the night of like Game of Thrones or like 1 or 2 nights after too. Game of
avoid
Thrones,
people like Evan Bogner.
Walking Dead. Yes, Evan Bogner is a walking spoiler machine.
Yeah, I have one of those. He's the worst.
Yet
He
they're
ruined
like,
the Walking Dead, the Telltale
Yeah.
story
Uh-huh.
video game.
that sucks. It's a good game.
Yeah, I was pretty close to the end of the first game, and he was
Mhm.
talking about the second one when the second one came out because I played it much later, and he just straight up just dropped it on me, and I was just like, "Hey, sick! I just said I didn't finish the game,
Yeah.
so you probably shouldn't have said that."
Yeah, and like as like the spoiler in like our culture right now is like the plague. Everybody's trying to avoid the spoilers, yet they eat up every chance of a new trailer, a new promo pic, a new still from the movie that they can get.
And
I'm guilty of that.
But what's a huge problem too is a lot of the press. Honestly, is like sometimes like and I love IGN as a website, but like sometimes like when they have articles, it'd be like spoiler revealed for like Batman versus Superman, or it's like. But like they'll have the picture of like right there, or it'll be like major spoiler revealed. But they'll have like somewhat of the spoiler in the title.
Yeah.
So I already kind of guessed it, and like that already, and like not to mention like it's kind of like clickbait. I feel like it's not just IGN. I shouldn't just call out that website.
IGN is a really bad offender though.
Yeah, they are, and again, I love that website. But every honestly, every website does it. They do the clickbait of major spoiler because they know people are gonna click on it,
and they will give away the
too.
spoiler right there. Not even like later on in the section. Like they'll put the spoiler either in the title, or they'll show like a picture of what the spoiler is. Not even blurred.
Yeah.
And then whereas like some sites they'll be like, oh, huge spoiler was just announced for whatever. If you don't want this spoiler, don't read on after this. Like that's a good way to do it. Don't put it in the title. Don't show an image.
And granted, a lot of articles that come out are like that, and when you click on the article, it says "Do not read any further, spoiler warning." But my problem with that is one, it's just like it's way too tempting, and like I know like people, it's like, well, then don't click on it if you don't want it spoiled. It's like, yeah, I do that most of the time, but it's like that still doesn't look good for the show. Like if let's say let's say we started a really popular animated program, us three sitting in this room, and it lasted 5 seasons, and it was a season finale last episode, and it leaked, and it got spoiled. We'd be really pissed off. Now imagine going on a website, like a reputable website, and then you see the headlining article, major spoiler revealed for so-and-so show. Please don't click. You'd be like, what the fuck? Of course people are going to click on that. You didn't want that spoiled. That's kind of, it's reverse psychology, and I feel like that's kind of like improper journalism. I don't even know if it's a word, but it's just like, that's not right. I
doing it for the click.
Yeah, it's for the click, and like I don't know if I were ever in that in journalistic industry or whatever, I would do something like that. The only time I'd ever post a spoiler was if it was after the episode aired, like if it was for a review, which is fine because the episode aired. That
do that already.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. That I 100% agree with because you need a review of the episode after the episode, or if it's something like something that's game breaking, or like this goes to video games. If it's like warning, like this is the ending, but if something happens, it could ruin something with your game. Then like that kind of has to be said because it's the lesser of two evils. But like, yeah, I don't like that at all because it's like you're pretty much just flaunting it in my face. It's like when someone says, "Hey, I have a secret, but I can't tell you." Well, now you got to tell me. Like,
yeah. Now it's up in the air and it's bugging the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and you know what? Like the spoilers now are like people are like, no, I don't want you to tell me. Just like even like weeks, months, years after something ends. Like especially now with like online streaming of like Netflix. Like all episodes are getting on, Netflix or Hulu or whatever. Like Breaking Bad, for example, it's been over for like a year and a half or something,
like almost 2 years,
and people are still like, dude, don't spoil it. Like it's not my fault. I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't listen or like go
Like,
over there.
There's obviously leeway.
But they're the same.
I think there's a 6 months leeway for television shows.
Which exactly. But then they're the same people who are like eating up all these trailers and promo shit and stuff like that. And it's like you can't have it both ways. And they'll be the people who spoil something for you, even though they don't want you to spoil something for them.
Yeah.
Like Evan Bachner.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Or any friend that's
Evan
just like
Bachner
that.
ruined House of Cards for me. I didn't even finish that show.
He ruined the season finale.
It's so good though.
I know, but he did. Like he literally, I was in his backyard one time, and he's like, he literally told me characters that died, and I was just like, can you stop talking about it? And then he would talk about it again like 5 minutes later and say other stuff. I'm like, I can't even watch this series now.
You know what I hate? When people like almost force you to spoil things for them. Like I watched Dexter like 3 years after it was off air, but I like watched it all the way through, and I really enjoyed it.
I only ever watched the first season.
See?
Seasons
All
1,
right.
2.
No, that's fine. I don't care. 'Cause
4
I
and
actually
7.
wasn't a huge fan.
Okay, well, I'm gonna throw a spoiler out here just to tell this story. A girl I was dating a year ago or so, and so about a year or so ago, I was dating this girl who had just gotten into the show, and I had already seen the whole series, but I really liked it, so I was watching it with her. And she turns to me at one point, I think it was season 3, and she was just like, "Does Rita die?" And I'm just like, what do I say? If I say no, I make a face, and she's just like, "Oh no, she does, doesn't?" And it's just like,
I hate that
why did
too.
you ask?
Yeah.
Well, just watch the show. I'm watching the same thing you are.
Yeah, really. That's, I
Anyway.
hate that.
Just had to throw that anecdote in there.
No, I've been in the
Sake
same
of-
position. I'm just like, well, if you want to enjoy the show, then don't ask me questions.
Yeah, don't ask.
I can't stand.
Like,
oh my
if you want to
gosh.
understand about stuff that happened leading up to where you are, sure. Anything that's coming out or that it's setting up, just fucking watch it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Worst thing with my ex-girlfriend was
It happens all the time to me.
it's just like shut the hell up and stop asking questions.
Yeah.
Like, why would you ask that question? Like,
I know.
that's like, if I'm watching, like, when we all go see Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, like, I would be extraordinarily pissed at one of you. He said, "Hey, like, do you think like what's gonna happen to Batman? Is he gonna die?" Like, I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." Like,
Yeah, I know.
But like,
Same.
I just, oh my gosh, it's the worst.
Or like when you're both watching something for the first time, they're like, "Well, what's happening?" I don't know.
I'm watching the same thing you are.
Yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up.
yeah,
Watch it. That's why I can't watch
But you don't know why.
stuff with certain people.
Yeah,
you know?
but you want to know why? It's just because, like, I'm not going to say we're experts, but we watch a lot of stuff, and, like, we're really good at predicting certain things. But, like, either or, but sometimes I like, subconsciously don't do that to myself just so I can really enjoy something.
Yeah.
So when someone asks me a question, I'm like,
And
why?
Then I start thinking
Stop.
about it, and then I spoil it for myself.
Like,
Yeah,
Lucky
exactly.
Number 11. I remember that movie?
I know of it. I didn't see
But
it.
I didn't see it.
it's okay, but the movie has a twist. It's a twist. It's one of those twist movies. I'm not gonna tell you the twist or anything like that. You have to watch the movie for yourself. But me and my dad and I think it was my aunt watching it, and my aunt was like, just kept asking questions. And like I figured out the movie halfway through the movie, and I was so pissed is because it got me thinking about the movie. It's like, no, I don't want to think. I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you surprise somebody about a birthday party. You make them not think about anything. Like, you avoid thought towards the thing. You don't even make them think about their birthday.
You know, and that goes back to the trailers. Like, the trailers can be setting you up that way to think about. Like, oh, like with the new James Bond trailer. Like, if luckily their trailers are pretty good, the way they've been doing it. Like, they aren't giving away a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're really not giving away much at all.
Star Wars is doing the same thing.
Star
I
Wars
have to give
has
Star Wars
like,
so much credit
so
for their
many
trailers.
cool action scenes that do
Yeah.
not reveal anything.
Exactly.
But it
Like
gets you
those-
so hyped.
The Star
Yeah.
Wars trailer, the Star Wars teaser, and that 2-minute trailer, and the James Bond trailers and teasers have been excellent, especially for Spectre. Because the first trailer for Spectre was like 45 seconds long. It gave you that we're going to learn more about James Bond's background. We're going to be learning more about like what's been causing all this chaos. And then when we find out Spectre is the evil organization, and the way their teaser trailer ended was a shadow-covered Christoph Waltz being Hello, James.
I fucking
Boom.
love that guy.
And then the
And
newer
you know
trailers.
What's funny too is like they're so secretive about the villain, even though everyone knows who that guy is.
Well, you know what? That
He's a
happened.
2-time Academy Award-winning actor.
That happened with Star Trek 2. They're like, oh, Benedict Cumberbatch. I got it right on the second try. He's not Khan. He's not Khan. He's not Khan. He's not Khan. He ended up being Khan.
All right, he's gone.
That was as much as I love this. I love both those movies. I think I like the second one like a little more, to be honest. Besides the ending,
Yeah.
but that reveal was awful.
It was a terrible reveal.
There's like that's
Like, listen, don't play it off. Like, everybody knows it. It's blatantly right there, and then just like, oh, we got you guys, right? Like,
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like,
but like with the new James Bond, they're like, yeah, he's the head of Spectre, and it's Christoph Waltz. Boom, that's it. They don't go into any explanation of it, and the movie comes out in a few weeks now, and they really have had one teaser and then 2 trailers that have been like just giving up like a lot of style, and then just like the 2 or 3 things you need to know going into it. And I think that's how trailers should be done. And like with Star Wars, it's the same thing.
well, do the directors have more control over these trailers? You think?
I don't know.
Because I feel like a director like Sam Mendes and a director like J.J. Abrams probably has a lot more say than,
Definitely
like
J.J.,
the Terminator Genesis director. Like, it's kind of like the power of the name. Like, the studio.
True, could be.
It could be something like that.
But that makes sense, which would explain why like TV showrunners, because they're not gonna have the same director every episode, have less power about what gets shown in trailers and previews because they're not big names. Like no matter who.
Well, that's the director for hire status.
Well, yeah,
thing
but
right
even
there.
like the showrunners are basically the overarching director.
Yeah.
But they still don't have enough power to like do that. But I think that those properties, James Bond and Star Wars, benefit from who the executives of their distributors and companies are. Like, especially, Star Wars is benefiting from its status in the movie industry. J.J. Abrams,
Also,
pull,
Disney's respect
and
for franchises.
Disney. Like Disney, probably the most powerful executives in like entertainment industry.
They
And
are.
They don't make shitty movies. for
And
the
they
most
don't.
part.
Well, the Lone Ranger. And,
True.
Alice in Wonderland.
I would
Carter.
like to forget about the Lone Ranger, if you please.
Okay. Well, no,
It's
and you're
basically
not
like
wrong.
Pirates of the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie is still a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that movie's
no,
great.
I love the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
first-
Those things steadily got worse as they were going on.
Steadily. Yeah, I think it just. I think Dead Man's
All right,
Chest was
steadily
like
might have been
boom.
generous.
But, like,
it was
with
like a
the-
steady drop.
Yeah.
Like,
like taking Star
Like
Wars
a 90-degree.
into consideration. Just imagine if, like, for The Empire Strikes Back, just imagine if, like, in one of the trailers that came out, or like one of those like pre-release, articles covering it, they revealed that Vader is Luke's father, and the uproar that would have caused.
Like in the trailer. he
Like,
just
if
said,
they
"I
showed
am
it-
your father," and
If
just
they
like,
showed that in the trailer or in an
I'm
article.
yeah, and that's
Like, just imagine that
I'm
happening
sure
today. And
even-
that's sure it's not happening for movies that are of that caliber, but it's still happening. And it's still
I don't know if it's
annoying.
to that extent. Like, that's a huge twist. Like, well, Terminator Genesis,
Alright,
that kind of
well-
happened too.
It happened because John Connor.
Yeah.
Right, is that John Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Terminator Genesis, in the trailer, they show, he's a machine. He's part of Skynet.
Yeah.
In the trailer, and you're like, well, okay, now had that
Yeah.
happened in the movie,
I don't
that
think
would
it
have been
happens
a
that
huge
much, though.
twist.
Like you don't get
Still.
you don't get those moments like that much. That I think Terminator Genesis was really just kind of a once in a blue moon thing. But like we're like for that bad. Like I'm not saying there aren't spoilers in trailers. There's plenty of spoilers in trailers and it's really bad. But like Terminator Genesis literally got. I didn't see the movie. I heard it wasn't very good, but I mean,
I
a
didn't
lot of
have
people
it-
put a lot of work into that movie, and like to have a trailer revealed that much was like it was like sad.
Yeah, the director was furious. And I'm
Yeah.
sure like the cast was too. But that's just one example of like a major spoiler. But I still think that with the amount of teasers, trailers, promos, blah blah blah, it's causing too much overexposure
Yeah.
instead of letting it just happen when it comes out. That's my opinion.
No, I agree. I can't disagree.
And
with
like
that.
Star Wars had one teaser, one actual trailer,
Star Wars comes out in 2 months,
and then a 10-second Instagram
so
video.
fucking hype.
I would love if all major movies followed that formula
to a certain
because
extent.
it builds up more hype. I mean, like Star Wars doesn't need any help getting hype.
Let's just
I
let's be
feel
real
like-
here.
I
If there
feel
was
like-
a poster that just said Star Wars on it, it would build hype.
Exactly. Yeah, it's you don't want to give too
I
much
don't
away.
think
too
I don't
soon.
think every movie should do it like Star Wars is doing it because Star Wars there's literally not a proper trailer like
Yeah.
at all. Like There's two. There are officially 2 teaser trailers.
All right, well then,
So I think
the James Bond model: 1 teaser, 2 trailers,
yeah, or
3 at the max.
But even James Bond could have done a Star Wars and been fine. But like something like Ant-Man, that needs like an epic trailer for you to get hyped for that.
But it has the Marvel's name driving.
It has Marvel's name, but it's also an obscure superhero. Like how many people were like Ant-Man, and the movie ended up being good.
Yeah.
Like, or even like Deadpool. A movie like that needs a legitimate trailer. Like, so with a little, like, I don't want to say spoilers, but like a little bit of like stuff here and there. Like,
just the tip. That's all.
Just the tip. Yeah.
Just the tip.
Like,
Just the tip.
Certain movies need a little more than others to give it that oomph. Like, I mean, and also let's not forget too, trailers are much. Even though we complain about the spoiling within trailers for TV shows and movies, it's not as bad as it actually was back in like the 40s and 50s and 60s. If you like get like DVDs of, if you still get DVDs of movies, like Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, they literally like give away the movie in those trailers, the whole entire movie. It's like, this movie has love, like tragedy, and like I'm just trying to look at my wall of like stuff, like old movies I have. Like even like all those old Universal monster movies, which like were like the big box office smashes of the day. You see those trailers for those movies, and you're like, why the hell would anybody go see this movie after the trailer? It was a different time back then.
Well, it's also different. It applies differently to different genres. Like if it's a monster movie, people are going to go see it for the monster, regardless of what gets exposed.
But also too, like people knew at the time those movies actually had good stories though too. Especially after Dracula, like Universal was known for making making horror like an intelligent genre, like to a certain extent. I guess maybe people didn't care back then, so like it's better now than it was, especially for certain stuff. Like if you see like a trailer for Casablanca, you're like, which is like, I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, but that's like one of the best movies ever made, like according to American Film Institute. Like, but if you see a trailer for a movie like that, like they give away like a lot of the classic lines of that movie. It's like I would be pissed if I saw a trailer like that.
Well, it still happens today.
Because
we were just saying that it was exactly like that with comedies.
It's not to the extent though. If you like, do me a favor, like later on, like look it up and you'll see what I'm talking about, how bad it is. Like it's bad now, but it was really bad back then, but it was a different time. I don't think people minded as much then. Like people, I think it's kind of like our generation thing, or not even really our generation thing, but kind of like almost since fantasy and comics have been being really successful at the movies, people have been like, well, I don't really want to know at all, what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, anybody else got anything else to add after that? I don't know.
I mean, I said it. I'm just gonna say it again. As spoiler, as quick as we are and as adamant as we are to avoid spoilers, we still welcome them a lot with all the shit that gets released and eat it up.
I'm really guilty of that.
Yeah.
If I see anything Batman vs Superman related, I dig into that immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I do it too, but like I don't get pissed about it afterwards. I'm like, oh, why the fuck did it? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
like
I know what I'm getting into. Like when I seek out a spoiler, I know I'm seeking out a spoiler. I'm not going to be mad about it. That's on me.
Yeah, but I still think I like, and I guess that kind of falls on us.
Yeah. At this point, is the nature of the beast. You're responsible for not seeing spoilers.
There is one example where it's really not our fault, and that's Suicide Squad. Because you could not avoid that.
What spoiler?
Suicide Squad. Just all the footage of everything that we got. Like spoilers, like there's a scene where Batman is chasing Joker and Harley Quinn in a car.
Oh, it's because fucking everybody who was at Toronto when I was filming was putting up, pictures and videos of it. Even
that's something, but that's
the director did it too. But Bryan Singer for the new X-Men has been posting like literally the smallest hints of details on his
which is
Instagram,
good.
which is he's doing it well.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are some well, that's the only instance I can think of where it's really not our fault to like the spoilers that were released as far as like when it comes to Suicide Squad. Like we pretty much know how that movie starts now, going into it. I mean, not only because like we are comic book fans, but just because of all those pictures that got released. of all the characters that we know of. I wish they held back characters. I wish I think I will like that movie when it comes out. I think it'll be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. It could be a steaming pile of crap, but I hope it's not. But like I would like to have like walked into the movie and be like, "Whoa, Killer Croc's in here!" Like they went that route.
Well, so as soon as they announced the movie, they already announced everybody.
They did.
Like the lineup.
They posted a shot of the cast in
Yeah.
costume.
And
like,
the Joker.
oh, this is. You know what? The one thing I will not accept and forgive about Suicide Squad is Joker and Harley's tattoos. They are still fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put it aside for the movie, but I'm still gonna hold that
I can
over
glance
that.
past, but at the same time, it's just that was unnecessary.
But see, I don't think tattoos is a bad idea. I think what they got tattoos of is bad. Like
I just think the ones on their faces are stupid.
The ones on their faces are stupid.
like what does it say? Damaged right here.
Damage,
Yeah,
and then
that
she's got
was
like
really
Daddy's
dumb.
Girl and like stupid shit like that. Like, fuck off with those.
Yeah,
and
those
like
are-
the
those
fact that he has a jester tattooed on him, that's okay. But ha 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 ha, written in 3 different spots of his body.
Yeah, if it was like a
That's
little
hard.
bit here and there, this is, and we've talked about this on the show
The
before.
J on his face, like
We talked about this on the show before. I don't mind the tattoos. I think the tattoos is a great idea. I think he should have gotten tattoos of victims that he's done, like times where like every time
There's
he's
already a Batman villain that kind of does that though.
Deadshot.
Victor Zsasz.
yeah, there,
No,
it-
he carves
he carves-
Italian to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he tallies himself. But I'm talking about like, for example, like if this Joker killed Jason Todd, which by the trailers he did, like have a tattoo of like a crowbar in Jason Todd's face or something like that. Like have something that's
that
like
would
where
be a little
every
too
time
literal,
Batman
but-
sees him, he can't not be reminded. Like
Well, that's what I'm gonna think. I think the J might be, but still, like,
but then that's a shitty reminder right
all
there.
right, well, still, but like the rest of those tattoos are a terrible idea.
Right. I don't. Yeah. Again, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is like, you're right. The rest of those tattoos ideas are terrible ideas. I don't think the idea of tattoos in general is a bad idea. It just went bad.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, I don't care if he has tattoos, but they should have tattoos that aren't setting such a fire in us right now.
Mhm.
Like, we should not, like, that's the smallest little detail in this movie, and we're all getting really worked
as soon
up
as
about
like they
it, you know what I
released
mean?
that image, the first image of Jared Leto like in the full costume or the full makeup or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, those tattoos won't stay. And then you go to the trailer and look,
Oh,
it's
they're there.
All right.
Well, all right. So let's finish off with this, which is a simple question, real fast. Because I feel like we're kind of talked out the spoilers things that we kind of all said our opinion. When it because this is something I kind of ponder whenever something like Joker tattoos come up. Let's say Suicide Squad ends up being a monstrous hit, and it's a very successful movie, not like box office and critically, it's like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing, like, which I don't think will happen, but let's say it does happen, and Jared Leto's performance of the Joker is stupendous, like since Heath Ledger, and like this is just a scenario. Because let's not forget, Heath Ledger, when he was revealed as the Joker, everyone was pissed off about those scars on his face. And like, why isn't it a real smile? But looking back, it's like, dude, that's awesome. Do you think if this movie has that same success, do you think people will look back and be like, hey, like those tattoos are actually really cool? Or do you still think people will be really pissed off? Like, would it change your opinion?
Wouldn't change mine.
For me, like I said, the tattoos are a very minute detail that I'm probably not going to pay too close attention to while the movie's going on, but it did make me mad the first time I saw the picture. But I don't know, it was a sting. I'm kind of over it. I don't like them.
It's not a movie ruiner.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not gonna. I'm still not gonna like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
I don't
let's
like
say-
them, but
let's
it's
say
not
Suicide
bothering
Squad
me
is your
anymore.
favorite movie of the year, and like you were like, dude, Jared Leto's performance is Oscar worthy.
Honestly, I think he's going to be like that. I'm really excited to see him.
Yeah, I am too. I don't think it'll change it at all because his performance has nothing to do with his tattoos.
Right. So that like okay. So like the performance like won't make you like warm up because I just feel like that's the kind of happened with Heath Ledger. Is
Well, the
I
scars
was and
became
I
like
because I was like that. I was like those scars are stupid.
I liked.
The
But, you know,
scars
at the
became,
time,
like,
I
an
liked the
integral part of
scars.
character,
but
though.
that's the thing though, and that's what I'm getting at.
At the time, I liked the scars because they couldn't give him the cartoon red lips mouse that we were used to seeing in the show, like where his he can make his smile from literally from ear to ear. So that was made sense to me as an addition like that.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that I was like, but at first it didn't make sense when you saw it, though. At least not to me, it didn't.
To me,
all right, well, to me, I was like, that's stupid. But then after the movie and it sunk in, I was like, I appreciate it. I was like, I actually really like that decision. I was wrong. So, like, I'm kind of hoping with Suicide Squad, there's a moment where it's like, oh, I was wrong. Like, I actually kind of like those tattoos now. Like, maybe there's something like that in the movie. Like, I don't know if there will be. I don't think there will be. But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to write that off. Like, that's why I'm gonna go. This is one of the. I always go into a movie with the open mind. But I'm really going to this with an open mind. I'm cracking my skull open and like,
yeah,
you know.
I'm not really excited for it at all. Because I'm really not looking forward to Will Smith's performance because he's Will Smith in a Deadshot costume. He's Will Smith as Will Smith.
I see what you're saying. He's too big a name.
No, it's not that. He can be a really great actor. Like, he's shown that. You know, it's
Pursuit
just
of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness, Ali, 7 Pounds.
7 Pounds wasn't that good of a movie, though.
The movie itself wasn't, but he was.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, he's either like Independence Day, Men in Black. He wasn't those characters. He was Will Smith.
It was like the Fresh
and
Prince
in this
Independence Day.
trailer, he's Will Smith in like that costume. It's not. He's not Floyd Lawton. He's Will Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
right.
I hope changes, but that's something I feel like is gonna.
I personally, like I said before, for me, it's like I have trouble not seeing Will Smith there, like you're saying, but like in a different way. For me, he's just too big a name for me to like you said. I can't see Deadshot. I see Will Smith on the screen. Like I'm gonna see Will Smith no matter what, and it's gonna bother me just a little bit that I can't like immerse myself into seeing Deadshot because he's such a big name. Whereas most of the other members of the Suicide Squad, for me at least, I'm not overly familiar with, so I won't have trouble seeing them as the character.
Well,
like even acting a part. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm
like
gonna see his face
I know
and be like,
Margot Robbie, Jared Leto, and also Viola Davis. Like them, I'm not. You know, they're being those characters. They right from the get-go, you can tell they are. But Will Smith has a habit of just playing Will Smith.
Yeah.
I could accept him as Deadshot as long as he's not just playing Will Smith in the movie.
Yeah,
you know?
he's got to be like
big name or not. I think it comes down to how they act in the movie. If they really take on that role instead of being themselves in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, the only time it works is Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. That's one instance that works.
Yeah, because it's practically the same person, though.
Yeah. And Will Smith is not Floyd Lawton unless he takes the opportunity to act instead of just like.
Yeah, we won't really know until the movie comes out, and until like really. Excuse me. At least until we see another trailer, which won't be for a while.
No, we got lucky seeing that trailer. So it was.
Yeah. All right. I feel this is a good place to leave off.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, guys, thanks for listening to us. Just to let you know, please follow us on Twitter and also rate and subscribe us. Tell us about your friends. If you want to follow us, I am at Less Than Connor.
At Rick Pat MCN.
And I'm at Weenie Beard.
He changed his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
crazy thing, that technology.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter.
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Put this on blast everywhere you can imagine, even in your house.
Shout it from the rooftops.
Exactly.
Yeah, make a signal. So just let you know, like you're not just our fans. You're our best friends. This is the best friend group. All right. So you guys have a great Sunday, and see you till next time.
Bye. Thanks again, Mike.
Yep. Anytime, guys.